Good morning. I am Technical Sergeant James McCarsick, and I will be your narrator for today's ceremony. Today's event is a celebration of the remarkable achievements of these graduating airmen and guardians. It is also a ceremony that both teaches and appreciates our United States military heritage. The airmen and guardians who pass in review today have completed a demanding 7.5-week program. These individuals have been transformed from civilians into motivated, disciplined, warrior airmen and guardians with the foundation to serve in the world's greatest United States Air and Space Forces. Once these airmen and guardians leave basic military training, they will continue on to technical training to learn the skills needed to perform in their unique specialties. They will then transition on to numerous bases around the world, some working directly with our sister services. Of the hundreds of thousands of American citizens that enter the workforce each year, less than 1% have joined the ranks of the United States military. These airmen and guardians have reached a milestone in their military journey and will require your continued support to assist them in their future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of our official party.
Detail, attention, over, her.
Please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Smith.
Let us pray. Dear God, we come before you today in thanksgiving of a momentous occasion of celebration. It is a celebration of the success of integrity, the achievement of service, and the pride of excellence within each of these young men and women who stand here today in front of us. We thank you for the leadership that has been given through the commander, training instructors, and staff that are also gathered here today from the 331st Training Squadron. We thank you for the support of the family and friends who unfortunately could not be here today. It is through their support in written letters and offered through phone calls that these before us were able to find the strength and courage to persevere. After today, they will no longer be called trainee, but given the label of either airman or guardian in the world's greatest air and space force. We ask your protection and guidance as they are scattered from this place to start their next steps in the military. We also ask for your protection and blessing on those who remain prisoners of war, missing in action, and those serving in active combat around the globe. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Basic Military Training graduation ceremony. We would like to introduce our distinguished guests, beginning with the host for today's ceremony, the Commander and Superintendent, Air Force Basic Military Training, Colonel Jeff Pixley, and Chief Master Sergeant Leary Gaitan. From the graduating squadron, the Commander and Superintendent, 331st Training Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel John Marks and Chief Master Sergeant Tijuana Hannibal. Our reviewing official and senior enlisted leader, the Vice Commander and Command Chief, 37th Training Wing, Colonel Megan Schaefer and Chief Master Sergeant Michael Morgan. Also in attendance today, the Commander, 37th Training Wing, Colonel Rocky Wilson. Although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 737 Training Group is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. Our Commander of Airmen is Technical Sergeant Michelle Fernandez, Blue Rope, Master Military Training Instructor, 331st Training Squadron. Colonel Schaefer will review today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Thank Thank you. Please be seated. 737 Training Group, United States Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Subject, Commander's Excellence Streamer. The Commander's Excellence Streamer is awarded to the 331st Training Squadron, Flight 569, for their significant accomplishments demonstrating teamwork, excellence, and esprit de corps during the period of 4 May 2021 through 24 June 2021. Signed, John A. Marks, United States Air Force.
present the command. March the command in review. Staff, order, hurt. Staff, change post, hurt. Order. Hurt. Hands in review.
training this year. The 737 Training Group provides all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the world's greatest air and space forces. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, and discipline of the Airmen and Guardians. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure all of training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven through academic studies, military training, physical training, and the development of teamwork that they are ready to take their place in the United States Air and Space Forces. Now passing in review.
Hey!
The Commander of Airmen, led by Technical Sergeant Michelle Fernandez, Blue Rope, Master Military Training Instructor, hometown, Los Angeles, California. From the 331st Training Squadron, Academic Excellence Flight 567, led by Technical Sergeant Adam Chambers, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Summitville, Indiana. Flight 568, led by Technical Sergeant Aaron Johnson, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Harvey, Illinois. Commander's Excellent Flight 569, led by Technical Sergeant Matthew Beeler, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Rose City, Michigan. Flight 570, led by Technical Sergeant Taylor Ward, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Madison, Mississippi. Flight 563, led by Technical Sergeant David Waller, Blue Rope Master Military Training Instructor, hometown, Loomis, California. Flight 564, led by Technical Sergeant Matthew Powell, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Lakely, Georgia. Flight 565, led by Technical Sergeant John Stevens, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Fort Worth, Texas. Flight 566, led by Staff Sergeant Kurt Johnson, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Cibolo, Texas. Flight 559, led by Technical Sergeant Daniel Fitzpatrick, Military Training Instructor, hometown, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Flight 560, led by Technical Sergeant Paul Beatty, military training instructor, hometown, Broomfield, Colorado. BT Excellence Flight 561, led by Master Sergeant Chad King, military training instructor, hometown, Cleveland, Tennessee. Flight 562, led by Technical Sergeant Joshua Casey, military training instructor, hometown, Fairhaven, Vermont. Flight 555, led by Technical Sergeant Robert Young, military training instructor, hometown, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Flight 556, led by Technical Sergeant Benjamin Chrysler, military training instructor, hometown, Schertz, Texas. Flight 557, led by Technical Sergeant Araceli Contreras, military training instructor, hometown, El Paso, Texas. Flight 558, led by Technical Sergeant Ryan Pappas, military training instructor, hometown, Tacoma, Washington. Flight 551, led by Staff Sergeant John Lightfoot Jr., military training instructor, hometown, East Quincy, Florida. Flight 552, led by Technical Sergeant Benjamin Kimball, military training instructor, hometown, Yakima, Washington. Flight 553, led by Technical Sergeant Jordan McDonald, military training instructor, hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. PT Excellence Flight 554, led by Technical Sergeant Casey Blickenstaff, military training instructor, hometown, Delphi, Indiana. graduating Airmen and Guardians from the 331st Training Squadron, performing under the direction of Master Sergeant Miles Hudlow, hometown, Raleigh, North Carolina. These individuals have been hand-selected to perform for today's ceremony.
Report to order. Not a flight. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Master Sergeant Morgan, the Command Chief, 37 Training Wing, will now come forward and say a few words.
Airmen and Guardians, you are joining a team of professionals dedicated to integrity, service, and excellence. The Airmen and Guardians coin you will receive may seem a simple coin, but it carries with it the history and heritage of our Airmen and Guardians. The men and women who have come before you have airlifted troops and supplies into the jungles of Vietnam, executed precision airstrikes in the deserts of Iraq and Afghanistan, delivered humanitarian aid to the villages in Africa and South America. They have launched missiles and flown satellites, defended airstrips, and strengthened partnerships. They have stood on the North Pole, the South Pole, and everywhere in between. Today, you graduate from basic military training and join us in the profession of arms. Always remember that while you serve in or out of uniform, you represent not only those around you, but those who came before you and those that will follow. The next time you look in the mirror, I hope you see what I see in front of me right now. Hope, potential, and professional Airmen and Guardians. To your families watching via the live stream, I thank you for sending us the best this nation has to offer. You've grown, groomed, and made ready these young warriors here today. Without your support, they wouldn't be who they are today. Know that we will do our best to watch over them. They're going to be a part of an extended family, the United States Air Force and Space Force. Airmen and Guardians, I leave you with this. You are joining a team that will look at you to define the character of our air and space forces for years to come. We have the utmost faith in you because every time you recite the Airman's Creed, you adamantly proclaim that you will not fail, and we believe you. I hereby acknowledge your completion of all graduation requirements and have recommended to Colonel Pixley and Chief Master Sergeant Gaitan that you receive your coveted Airmen and Guardians coin, which signifies your transition today from trainees to Airmen and Guardians. Congratulations. Military training instructors, you may proceed.
At this part of the ceremony, the military training instructors will distribute the Venerable Airman's coin, and for the first time, distinct Space Force coins to our Space Force graduates. The lore of military coins has many colorful suspected origins. However, a popular story stems from World War I, where American volunteers formed flying squadrons in France during the Great War. One of the volunteers was a wealthy lieutenant who took great pride in his service and had medallions cast in bronze, with his squadron's emblem on them. He gave those medallions to every member of his unit. Not long after, one of the pilots was shot down behind enemy lines and was captured by a German patrol. The German forces confiscated the pilot's possessions except for the pilot's medallion that he wore around his neck. While in confinement in a small French village, the captured pilot took advantage of a nighttime bombardment by the Allies. He donned civilian clothes and escaped after crossing the front lines to safety. He came across a French outpost where he was initially thought to be a saboteur until he showed them his unit coin. The French forces recognized the unit emblem, and instead of any harsher treatment, he received a bottle of wine. Today, several military units have developed their own coins and specific rules for them. Many organizations give out their unit coins to recognize outstanding performances and achievements. The coins the airmen and space professionals receive today are unique in that they originate here at the gateway to the Air Force and are only given to those who complete this rigorous course of instruction. On one side of the airman's coin, the original emblem of the Air Force resides as envisioned by General Henry Hap Arnold, one of the first military aviators and later commander of the Army Air Forces in World War II. Beneath the emblem, the year 1947, the birth date of the United States Air Force, and around the rim of the coin, the core values of the Air Force: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Inscribed on the other side of the coin is the newly recognized emblem of the Air Force, a symbol that honors the heritage of our past and represents the promise of our future. The emblem retains the core elements of the Henry Hap Arnold emblem, the Arnold wings, and the star within a circle. The modern effect of the emblem reflects our Air and Space Force today and into the future. Inscribed in a half circle above the contemporary Air Force emblem is the Air Force motto, "Aim high, fly, fight, win." And on the border of the coin, a reminder to all who see this is inscribed, "Awarded on the occasion of becoming an airman in the world's greatest Air Force." The Space Professional coin also has a distinctive design. On one side, it displays the original emblem of the Space Force, the Delta, which was first used by space units in 1961, and honors the heritage of the United States Space Force. Beneath the emblem is the year 2019, the birth date of the United States Space Force. Inscribed on the other side of the coin is the Space Force motto, "Semper Supra," which translates to "always above." This represents the Space Force's role in establishing, maintaining, and preserving our nation's dominance and freedom of operations in the space domain. On the coin's border is a commemorative inscription that reads, "Awarded on the occasion of becoming a charter member of the United States Space Force."
commanders, place your flights at attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as a sign of unity as our newest airmen and guardians recite the Airman's Creed. I am an American Airman. Congratulations, Airmen and Guardians. Now, how about that squadron pride? Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Flight commanders, place your flights at ease. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Schaefer will now come forward and address our newest airmen and guardians.
Ladies and gentlemen, and to our fine Wolfpack, good morning. It is an absolute privilege and honor to be part of this ceremony introducing 754 airmen and 41 guardians from the 331st Training Squadron, the Wolfpack. To our families and friends online, we are so grateful to have you with us, and we look forward to the day when you're able to be reunited with your airmen and guardians to see firsthand their amazing transformation. 7.5 weeks ago, you entrusted us with our nation's most valuable treasure, your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters, your friends. Your support has enabled them to successfully complete basic military training and join the world's greatest air and space forces. I know you're extremely proud of their accomplishments, as are we. And we know these men and women could not have achieved this without your support and encouragement. Thank you for all you've done to prepare them to this point, and all you will continue to do in support of their service. Most importantly, thank you for your trust in us. I must say it is a beautiful sight seeing the sea of blue uniforms in front of me, a first since last spring. And it's a perfect example of the transformation that has occurred across basic military training over the last year. Much like the rest of society, we get a lot of questions, many from you online. When are we going to return to normal? And as we've said over the last couple of weeks, we're way past normal, folks. We're returning to better. And it's only just the beginning. But better isn't just about the vaccinations, the removal of masks, the return of blues, the new parade ceremony, and the return of families in a few weeks. Better is about the innovation that has become the hallmark, the trademark of basic military training, our training pipeline, and our entire United States Air and Space Forces. The constant desire to evolve and innovate, to ensure we are building the world's most lethal, ready airmen and guardians the world has ever seen. Better is about championing the effort of our Air Force Chief of Staff, General C.Q. Brown, Jr., to accelerate change. Better is about knowing that good enough today will fail tomorrow. Better is about the culture, the foundation, the core values of integrity, service, and excellence that these men and women now embody as their own. Better is about you, the men and women, now airmen and guardians, standing in front of us today. But it's also about the military training instructors, the first sergeants, the flight commanders, the superintendents, support staffs, commanders, and the many helping agencies, even before you departed your hometowns, who had already committed, had pledged to support you, to challenge you, to hold you accountable, to pick you up when you stumbled, and then to inspire you during every step of your journey. They invested their time, their talents, their emotions, their own families into ensuring our Air and Space Force future becomes better each day, starting with you. See, we've all been where you have stood. We have looked ourselves in the mirror, have made the choice, the promise, the commitment to do something greater, to be a better version of ourselves, for our families, for our military, for our nation, and for each other. And just as we have these last 7.5 weeks, know that your Air and Space Force family will continue to coach, mentor, support, and hold you accountable every step of the way. And we're counting on you to do the same for us, for each other. And I couldn't think of a better place to reflect on your journey these last 7.5 weeks, but also what lies ahead, than here in the Airman's arena, where it all began. We pay homage to the Man in the Arena passage by former President Teddy Roosevelt. Many of you may have heard this, but I think it bears reflecting on today. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who actually strives to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither knew victory nor defeat. We know there are those, our competitors, who will seek any and all opportunity to back us down from a challenge, to be fearful, to admit defeat, to seek comfort over courage. But that's the difference between us and them. Our success is not defined by our shortcomings, but our valor, our courage to strive valiantly and to dare greatly. Our nation has come to expect much of us, to not accept good enough, to innovate, to take risk. So much like you rose to the challenge of answering our nation's call, to completing basic military training, to joining the ranks of the world's greatest air and space forces. Your work has just begun. You must continue. We must continue together to rise to the challenge of tomorrow's competitive environment. To be bold, to dare greatly, to choose each day to spend your lives in a worthy cause of service, grounded by the values of integrity, service, and excellence. You chose wisely, Wolfpack. We couldn't be prouder to have you joining our team, our Air and Space Force. And with pride in mind, I would like to take the opportunity to recognize basic military training's most outstanding performer, someone who demonstrated their ability to successfully navigate all assessments, testing their physical abilities, academic aptitude, and adaptability to the military environment through multiple progress checks. This airman has surpassed all others in the challenges of training and earned the distinction of being the top graduate of this class. The top graduate is from Flight 555, Airman Jack D. Bant. The recruiter of Airman Bant is Technical Sergeant James Cowart from the 330th Recruiting Squadron, 369th Recruiting Group, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Congratulations. And in closing, thank you, Airman Bant, thank you, Wolfpack, for answering a nation's call, for daring greatly. Continue to lead the way. And I have just one final question for you. Are you ready to join the ranks of the world's greatest air and space force? I think they're ready.
Flight commanders, place your flights at attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as Colonel Schaefer will now administer the oath of enlistment.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. And the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations, Airmen and Guardians, and welcome to the world's greatest air and space forces.
Thank you, Colonel Schaefer. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of the Air Force song, followed by the departure of the official party.
1, 2, wait up, sign!
Congratulations, Airmen and Guardians, on achieving this historic milestone that marks the beginning of your career. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Flight commanders, take control of your flights.